Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of day 6. I'm wearing different clothes because I did some chores, but I promise it's the same day. It's still Saturday, and it's time to form the dough and put it in the refrigerator. It's been 5 hours since we last talked, so I have lifted and folded the bread at least 5 times by now, the dough, sorry. It looks like this. It's definitely been rising, but every time you fold it, it's kind of like punching it down. So it looks super great, better than I expected for a brand new starter. Here's what we're gonna do. I like to proof it in this size of bowls, and I like these kitchen towels as little bowl liners. Okay, what happens is, take some flour and just sort of sift it into over the cloth, and then once the dough has formed and rested in the fridge all night, it gets the little imprints right on there, and it gives it that cool sort of pattern look.
Let's see that.
This one isn't the best one, but you get the idea. And then I'll talk about scoring in the morning on our final video. But if you don't care for that type of a pattern, you could just put it straight into a floured bowl, or you could use a cloth more like this that doesn't have any pattern on it. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so we flour the cloth in the bowl. Our dough recipe makes 2, I don't know, what size is that? 10 inches? 2 10-inch loaves? 8-inch loaves? What do you think, Jake?
8.
2 8-inch loaves-ish. And I someday I'm gonna get a bigger Dutch oven and try more of an oval loaf, but the round loaves are fun and they work just fine. Okay, then a little bit of flour on the table, and the dough is still sticky. It's totally fine to stretch it, but we want to try not to tear it because we want to preserve the gluten strands. So I sort of do this, dig my fingers in along the edge to unstick it from the edge of the bowl, and then slowly sort of just release it out of there. Look at that, perfect, awesome. Okay, then we've already floured the countertop. I do a little bit of flour across the middle of the top, and a little bit of flour on a bread scraper or a butcher's knife or anything. And then I'm gonna try to roughly guess half and half. I don't weigh it or anything like that. Usually one of the loaves is slightly bigger than the other one, but it's pretty easy to get close enough. Totally doesn't matter baking time. They seem to bake the same with one or bigger or smaller, so it doesn't matter. Okay, now this is where we do our final folding, and it's just a series of stretches and folds, just like we were doing earlier, resulting in a fairly tightly stretched dough ball that we're gonna plunk right into the bowl. Ready? Here we go. It's stickier on the bottom, so I'm gonna flip it over, fold it in half that way, fold it in half the other direction, stretch but don't tear, fold, and then tuck underneath from all sides, which is stretching it even more. There are definitely people better at this than me, but you get the general idea. Just continuing to stretch it around as I sort of turn it and pinch it, and then this is the top of the bread, which is gonna go in the bottom of the bowl. So as I flip it in, I'm gonna go up, turn it over and down, and then you can see all my fold marks, which I just sort of push down a little bit. That's the bottom. It'll settle. Don't push down too much. You can kind of pinch them together if there's a big crease. And then more flour over the top. Then I fold the towel over. That's why, see how on this one I leave more so that it can fold over the top. That's what's going on here. Just sort of tuck it a tiny bit and it's gonna go in the fridge. Okay, let's do the other one. Stretch, fold over. Stretch and fold over the other direction. And then tuck underneath. I just turn it around a little bit and pull down, and it should feel fairly tightly stretched, but it's nice and pliable. Okay, lost a little bit of my flour there. And upside down and into the bowl. Same thing. I'm gonna pinch these ones together. It'll settle down, not a big deal. Okay? Flour it. Cover it. And then they'll go into the fridge. I refrigerate overnight, and first thing in the morning, it's ready for baking. So I will do tomorrow's video super early, so it should be ready for you guys when you wake up. But basically, it's preheating the oven to 500 degrees with the Dutch ovens in. Don't take the dough out of the fridge until it's ready to go into the Dutch ovens. We will take them out when the oven is preheated, flip them onto our parchment, score them, put them in the Dutch oven, and then it's a 2-phase bake, one half with the lid on and half with the lid off. That's tomorrow morning. Super exciting, day 7, baking day. And that's it for tonight. Good job, everybody. See you in the morning.